Good evening. Herbert Hoover, the 31st President of the United States, once said, "Children are our most valuable resource." I agree with his sentiment, as our children represent the future of our own country as well as the world. The investment we make in them now is important in regards to what kind of life they will live as they grow older and what kind of life will be left after we are gone. John F. Kennedy made a similar statement as he said, "Children are living messages that we send to a time we shall not see." Our actions make an impact long after we are gone, as they affect how future generations will make their choices. Therefore, it is important that we address the issues that plague us now so that our children will not have to face them as they grow older. One major issue concerning children today is that of childhood obesity, which often leads to obesity in adulthood and can lead to other chronic diseases later in life. It is essential that our generation change the course of history and provide a better one for our children. In Proverbs 22:6, the Bible says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it." By giving a child a solid foundation, we can help ensure that they have something to build on as they make their own choices. Recent studies have shown that in the United States, over 2/3 of adults and 1/3 of children are overweight or obese. This unfortunately has been a growing trend in our country for close to 30 to 40 years. Due to technological advances, things are easier to access now than ever before. Children no longer seek out playtime like they used to. Instead, they stay inside and participate in sedentary behaviors with little to no energy expenditure, yet consume higher amounts of caloric intake. Typical work or school-related sedentary behaviors include working at a desk or traveling by car, whereas leisure time behaviors might involve TV viewing or recreational computer use. Screen time, or use of video technology, can also be expanded now to include cell phones, tablets, and video games. With family schedules busier than ever and children engaging in more sedentary behaviors, that naturally leaves less time for them to engage in physical activity. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services estimates that more than 80% of American adolescents do not meet youth exercise guidelines. According to the Physical Activity Guidelines for Americans, children should participate in at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per day. The participation in physical activity is essential in the promotion of health and fitness for our children. Coupled with poor dietary intake, sedentary behavior increases the risk of obesity in all age levels. It is going to be necessary that we find a way to educate our children on the dangers of risky behaviors so that they may avoid the opposite. Physical activity and dietary choices are the first areas that should be addressed. Participation in exercise decreases body fat, increases cardiorespiratory fitness and muscular strength, improves bone health, and has cognitive and psychosocial benefits. Physical activity is not solely responsible for the reduction of obesity, but it plays an important part. Regular physical activity is also beneficial psychologically for all youth regardless of weight, as it is associated with an increase in self-esteem and self-concept and a decrease in anxiety and depression. Therefore, it is our jobs to educate our children on the importance of physical activity and see to it that they are getting the appropriate amounts. Our schools should be taking the lead on this education. Schools are important settings to implement prevention and intervention services to reduce the prevalence of obesity due to their access, duration of exposure, and subsequent impact on the behavior of children and adolescents. The younger we can reach them, the better chance we have of impressing upon them its importance. Many children do not seek out physical activity opportunities outside of school. In a 2002 Youth Media Campaign longitudinal survey, 4,500 children 9 to 13 years of age and their parents were polled about physical activity levels outside of school hours. The report indicated that 61.5% of the 9 to 13-year-olds did not participate in any organized physical activities, and 22.6% did not partake in non-organized physical activity during non-school hours. It is essential that our children are getting proper physical activity time as part of their educational day in school, as most of them will not meet the recommended daily amount of physical activity without it. Our schools must find creative ways to implement activity through learning, free playtime, and also physical education. Evidence suggests that increased physical activity time has led to short-term improvements in academic achievement as well. It is also important that students enjoy physical activity so that they are inclined to seek it out on their own later. We as parents, educators, and citizens must operate as a team to work toward the common goal of providing a better future for our children. Thanks.